Stress is an American word that has to do with mental tensions and a negative emotional state, and it seems to be a problem of our times as we transition from the era of Pisces to the era of Aquarius. However, how do we get rid of stress, Master? If it is said to us not to work too much and not to worry too much, these are recipes that we cannot follow even if we want to do it. Nevertheless, there must be something that can help us physically to tranquilize our physical and our emotional bodies. So what can you recommend for this? Raul, for example, right now that we are seated under a tree, you yourself can feel a completely different vibration. When we cover ourselves with nature, when an individual is extremely tense and nervous and he sits down on the floor or on the grass with the navel touching the ground for a period of 5 or 10 minutes, we are going to discharge all the negativity. If our problem is more severe and chronic, then we bury ourselves in the sand of the sea, or we bury ourselves in clay from the feet to the neck, and we stay in this place for half an hour. We will see the enormous discharge of so much tension and so much stress which has been stored in the body. You will see that marvelous results of such action that no capsule of any chemical composition could accomplish such results so effectively. If we also take a sun bath early in the morning for 10 minutes on the front of the body and for another 10 minutes on the back of the body, and if we, with our mental attitude, through our intention, we capture and absorb the solar energy, then we can also purify ourselves. When we get into the ocean or into a river where the water is not chlorinated or where the water is not coming out of a pipe, all of this helps the individual to discharge himself. When you go to a park and just sit down under the shade of a tree for 5, 10, or 20 minutes, you will see the beneficial effects that you obtain from performing such a simple action. We can also discharge all of these negative energies when we sit down near a place where there is water. For example, a fountain, the ocean, or a waterfall, since these water sounds help to discharge yourselves. This is the reason why in what is called New Age music, the sounds of nature are used mixed with certain musical vibrations, which help to relax our bodies. On the other hand, the music from a nightclub creates the opposite effects in our bodies. That is correct. The sound of the water from the ocean waves, from a waterfall, from a river, or from a water fountain can help an individual to purify himself within a period of 20 or 30 minutes. When you practice silence and not worry about anything, is as if you begin to discharge all of that negativity that is hidden in the depths of our being. When we have a series of psychological complex, traumatic experiences, or mental anguish, the solution is not taking a pill, but instead using a different approach to eliminate these issues, and the sound of the water helps very much to eliminate the stress and nervous tension. Remember that some of the first conversations that I had with you and the Master Estrada, we spoke about the tendency of youngsters to attempt to evade this reality. In many places of our planet, our social reality is very crude and cruel, and as a result, the youngsters prefer to escape this reality by taking a pill or by smoking marijuana. And right now, there are so many hallucinogenic substances that can be used by youngsters to escape this reality. However, is this valid, or what happens to these individuals or these youngsters that seek an easy way to escape a reality so crude and painful? Precisely, one of the tasks of the great universal brotherhood is to work with the youth who think that by taking a pill, by injecting themselves with a substance, or that by using a narcotic, they are going to be able to experience the light, but they instead atrophiate themselves more. We change the cells of our body every 7 years. The organism restores itself every 7 years. However, the only cells that are not renewed are the pyramidal cells of our brain And there are certain types of drugs that when they are used, kill these pyramidal cells of the brain. The use of certain psychotropic substances damage our brain for the rest of our lives. If we can experience these states of ecstasy without having a harmful consequence through a meditation, through a yoga posture, or through breathing practices, then we do not need to resort to certain pills nor injectable substances. Nevertheless, all of this is intimately related to the way we treat a youngster, to the way we treat a child, how a home is handled, or how the behavior of the individual is handled in our society. Since all of these factors influence very much, if we provide the child with a good foundation of affection, or if we provide the child a good dosage of friendship and communication, we are going to be able to prevent many of these issues that take place in our society. I would like to talk about the family, but if you do not mind, we're going to leave this topic for our next television segment.